wait for external validations are the ones who move last. What are external validations? External validations is the need to always want other people to confirm your worth, make decisions for you, and this can affect yourself, your worth, and your self-esteem. Let me just repeat before we go straight. What are external validation? External validations are the need to always want other people to confirm your worth, make decisions for you. And because of this can affect your worth and your self-esteem. Hey lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me again. If you're watching this video on replay, thanks for watching it. And if you're joining me right now on live directly, thanks for always stopping by to watch my video and joining me on my live. It's a beautiful day. It's a wonderful day. So we'll be going straight to the topic of today. And if you've already noticed, the topic of today is how to stop seeking for external validations. Most of us will go around, excuse me guys, most of us we neglect our internal validation we neglect to validate ourselves by our internal validation if that word is correct, by looking for external validation, going hard to seek for answer, going hard to seek for permission when we already have the answer that we're looking for. We stop listening to our inner self, stop listening to our higher self, but going out looking for permission, looking for answers outside. Going to Google, sometimes when we go to Google, we like to the essence of go to Google, asking Google, should I start a business or not? Going to YouTube, looking for confirmation, especially in this area of social media. We want other people on social media, our influencers, to confirm who we are, to confirm what we should do, asking questions what we should do when the answer is already inside of us. So today I'll be giving you some tips on how to stop validating external validation. Some of the reasons why these things happen, why you prefer validating external validation than you validating your inner validation when you already have the answer. I have a video about I have a video about listening to your higher self. You can go check that video. I don't know, I think it will be last month. Go check that video out. You'll also get lot of tips on that video, but on today's one we'll be talking about how to stop validating our external validation. So one of them is understanding the root cause of this need. Why do you prefer like seeking for answers, seeking for permission, seeking for confirmation from other people aside from you when you already have the answer? Why do you do this? So one is understanding the root of this need. Like you have to understand where this comes from, where it started from. When did you start doing this? When did you start neglecting your whole answer that you know that you already have the answer, but rather going hard to seek for external validation, social medias, in this area of social media, to validate your own validation. And understanding the root cause of this need is by exploring past experiences. Exploring past experiences, consider if the past event is just like you going back to the past, try to figure out when this happened. And this past event can be caused by our childhood experiences. The experiences, because most of the things that we are that is happening in our life right now, like I always say, some are childhood drama, some are the things that we picked from friends, loved ones, family that are not even ours. So one of the reason of you understanding what happened, where does this need comes from, it's you going back to the past, understanding when this started. And sometimes it might start from our childhood experiences. Our childhood experiences core can contribute to the need of validation. I don't need to lay more emphasis on this, because when we are growing up, when we are in that state of alpha, When we're in that state of alpha, we understand that fact as we're growing up, we always want our parents to validate our need. We always want to do things to impress our parents so that we can get the compliment from our parents that you're a good boy, you're a good girl, you're doing well. When you don't pass your score, you know that you won't get that validation from your parents. When you don't do what your parents ask you to do, you won't get that validation from your parents. So you want, sometimes parents to their child, be a good boy, be a good girl, and when they tell you this, you try to respect. So you get that validation from your parents that, yeah, no, you're a good boy, you're a good girl because you did something well, or you passed your score, or you kept your room in order. No, you do these good things, and you get that validation from your parents. You always want to get that validation from your parents. And when you continue like this, not when you continue like this, is just norm, majority of norm in our life. And when you still don't get that validation, you grow up being aggressive because you don't never get that parenting love of like you're doing well, you're doing good, continue. But when you still get this validation from your parents, you'll always want to do things right to get this validation. So when you grow up, you always want to seek for external validation rather than accepting your own validation, being aware of your own validation, and know that your own validation, validating your inner validation and accepting it, and know that it's more important than going hard seeking for the confirmation of external validation. And by you doing this, it's really affecting your self-esteem, and it's making you not to know your worth, because when you run hard every single time to ask for people for confirmation for everything, should I buy the house, should I buy this shoe, should I buy this dress, should I start this business, should I do this, should I do that, asking your everyone. Mind you, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that sometimes you don't have to ask people for other people opinion, like, what do you think about this? No, before me ask you what do you think about that, it's not that I have not really checked myself. I have the answer. I know I have the answer. Maybe sometimes I'm confused. I just maybe want someone else confirmation, but not 80% or 90% of the time you keep going hard. Imagine 80 to 90% of the time you're going hard to seek for external validation, which means only 20% or 10%. That's the only time that you seek for your own inner validation. What's the extent? Like, what is the main root of that? What is the main cause of that? 18 to 90% you're seeking for other people. Should I buy this shoe? Should I buy this dress? Should I start a business? Should I buy the house? It's when you keep on doing like this, it's just like you're taking permission, you're asking for permission from the external forces to confirm what you want to do. And without being said, I don't have to explain that your self-esteem is on zero, and this affects your personal worth a lot. So the next one is reflect. The next one for you to stop external validation is reflect on your core values. Understand what truly matters to you and what gives your life meaning. Because if you reflect one on one with yourself, not with external forces or the people around you. You reflect one on one with your own value, what really matters to you, what you really want to do. This is not what other people told you to do, the value that the external forces are giving you, but the values that you know deep down you are important to you. You create meaningful meaning in your life, and you rely more on your internal validation than relying more on external validation. And this is weird because, especially in this area, like I've said before, on social media, we go hard of our own self to seek for seek for permission to do whatever we want to do. You want to start a business, you want to start a career, you want to start a life, you want to do this. You go search for your favorite YouTubers, or go search for your favorite influencer to confirm it to you when the answer is already in you. You neglect your internal validation, but you prefer and rely more on the external forces, the confirmation that the external forces are going to give to you, which is really, 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 really not normal. But these things happen to us a lot, and we are not aware of them, which that's why we are going more deep on how to stop it. Excuse me, guys. So, how to stop seeking for external validation? It's cultivating internal validation. When we want to stop seeking for external validation, you have to cultivate your internal validation. Cultivate internal validation in the way of practice self-awareness. Become more aware of your thoughts, feelings and behaviors, especially when you are seeking for external validation. Awareness is the key when it comes to our everyday life, personal growth, self-development. Like every single video I does here, there's always something talking about awareness. So for you to realize that awareness, if you can be aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, trust me, you are 80% on your, or you're 80% on the right lane. Awareness is just the key, because when you understand this fact already, that you keep seeking for external validation, you keep seeking for external confirmation to confirm things to you, to confirm what you're going to do, what you're supposed to do, and you keep asking for permission from the external forces to continue your life, to live your life on what you want to do, how to do whatever you want to do. When you are aware of this and you know deep down that you're not really relying on your internal validation, what you have to do is that listen to your thoughts, to your feelings and behavior, especially when it comes that you have decisions that you want to make. You want to run to social media to post it or ask questions, or you want to run to social media to look for advice on this thing. When you have the answer, listen to your thoughts, listen to your feelings, listen to your emotion, and pause for a minute and tell yourself that, do you think we don't have the answer? Do you think we can't get this answer? Why are we going out or seeking out for this validation, especially in this times of social media? Like I think I've said this up to 3 times. 3 times. As an influencer, content creator, we post, we do these things, we're always running there. This always happened to me also. I'm guilty. We always run there to see how many like we've gotten. We always run there to see how many view we're getting. And when we don't get this like, we don't get this view, we feel the we feel kind of depressed. I don't want to use that word, that why is my video not going hard to reach my audience? Why are people not watching my videos to listen to what I said? What I said is really, really valid. So why are people not watching my video? This is just you seeking for the external validation, because when you continue doing something that is good enough, definitely people recognize you. I'm saying this, I'm also talking to myself, because this is what we do. We seek more on or other people external to make decision for us. And when we want to do this, awareness is very, very important, that we have to cultivate the internal validation. When you cultivate internal validation, you get to listen and notice your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions. When these feelings or these thoughts are coming, for you to go hard from your higher self, to go seek for validation outside of yourself, you get to catch it immediately and bring yourself back to say, no, we have the answer. We can control ourselves. As much as it's very, very important when awareness is involved. So the next one is set personal goals that are aligned with your vision, and focus more on achieving these goals and also celebrating your success. Set goals that are aligned with your visions. Don't set goals that don't set goals because other people set goals. Don't set goals don't set goals that are not aligned to your vision. Don't set goals that people set for you. Like people set for you, because when you continue scrolling on this social media, watching people telling you how to live your life, what to do, step to take, how to be productive, you set goals that are not aligned to your vision. You set goals that are not aligned to yourself. And by you setting this goal, and you know deep down that these goals are not aligned to you, they are not according to you, that they are not going to take you to the right directions. They're not going to take you to the right directions. You tend not to be consistent. You tend to run hard all the time to go seek for validation. Are these goals real? Are these goals going to work out? They are not going to work out, because these goals are not aligned to your own vision. They are not aligned to your own real personal goals. These goals are setted. You setted this goal because of the goals of other people, because of the confirmation or the validation that you got from the outside source. So when you set these goals that are aligned to your own vision, to your growth, to your development, you celebrate every steps of this goal, every single achievement. You celebrate them. These are ways that you can stop validating external forces. And don't forget again, let me say this, that when you validate external validation more than your internal validation, you you will move very slow. You will move very slow. Trust me, guys. I'm kind of being distracted right now in this video. Maybe it's because I'm talking very fast. So the last one is by embracing your authentic self. Embracing your authentic self is very, very important, because sometimes we think that we're not worthy enough. We think, excuse me for that. Sometimes why we refuse to embrace our authentic self is because we think we're not worthy enough, we're not good enough to make the right decision. We always mess things up, we always sabotage things. So why do we have to make our decisions? So we run hard to people to make decisions for us. We run hard for people to confirm our worth for us and increase our self-esteem, which we know already that our self-esteem, we are already bringing down our self-esteem when we continue doing this. By embracing your authentic self, it making decisions and taking actions that are aligned with your core values. And don't worry about what other people think. The more destructive part of it is that you worrying about what other people think, you worrying about what people think, their judgment, what they'll think about you, why you started whatever you're starting, why you're doing whatever you're doing, when you know that when you embrace your authentic self, you'll be able to make decisions. When you embrace your authentic self and you embrace your internal validation and you validate your internal validation, you'll be able to make your decisions. You'll be able to confirm to yourself that your decisions are real, even if mistakes happen, even if there was error, something went off, all right. But at least you make those decisions by yourself. So let me give you an example. The reason sometimes I take my decisions by myself, it has taking them out for people to make for me, because I've noticed 80% of my time that whenever people make decision for me, whenever I take for example, take things outside for people to decide for me on what to do, yes or no, it's really ended up not working out. Then I'll tell myself or ask myself that this was not the decision that I wanted to make, this was not the decision that I wanted to take, but I neglected my internal validation, my higher self, and I took them out to go validate or ask for confirmation from other people to confirm if what I was thinking is true. And these people make decisions for me, and I say, you know what, let me neglect my own decisions and follow their decision and make them confirm what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. And this thing ended up not working out. Who am I supposed to blame? Nobody. But more sometimes I've come to realize now and understand to myself that whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I've learned to make my decision, stand on my decision, even if errors happen, even if it does not work out, but at least I know that I made the decision and I'm not going to blame myself or beat myself, but at least I made the decision. Because if, for example, someone else made the decision for me and this was not the decision that I was supposed to make, but I allowed other people to confirm my truth and make the decision for me, if something happened, I will blame myself so deeply, because I will ask myself, why did I rely on external validation when I already have the answer, when I could have just listened to myself and made this decision by myself, and without allowing other people to decide what to do for me, but allowing myself to decide, what I want to do. So if you embrace your higher self, your authentic self, even if you take decisions that does not work out, even if you take decisions that does not work out, you did things that did not work out, don't worry, you did that decision. At least the first step that you took is by validating your internal validation, by not relying on external validation. At least you did a good part and you took a one step forward by understanding and believing your internal validation. Say lovelies, whew, thank you so much for joining me. So let me do quickly recap. So the quickly recap is that those who wait on external validations are the ones who move last. So if you want to move first, you want to be the first to achieve your success. Stop validating or waiting for external validation, and instead rather validate more your internal validation and listen to your higher self. So I gave you a tips on how to stop seeking for external validation. One of that was understanding the main root of this need, and the main root of these things might be cause of past experiences, and these past experiences might be childhood experiences, with parents and other things. And two of that was cultivating internal validation. Cultivate internal validation by validating your internal decision, making internal decision and standing by it and confirming it to yourself, by taking your decisions or your ideas hard for people to confirm it for you and to validate and make decisions for you. And because of that, it tends to bring down your self-esteem and your worth. And the last one is by setting personal goals that align with your visions and embrace every single achievement that you get, and also embracing your authentic self. We all are authentic in our ways. Embracing your authentic self and make decisions, even if those decisions goes wrong or good, at least you made the decision for yourself. So maybe on my next video, I'll be coming back to do a video on how to validate and how to learn and listen to your validate and learn and listen to your internal self, to your higher self, and validate your internal validation. I have a video on how to listen to your higher self, how to listen to your intuition. You can go watch the video if you want to learn more. So thank you so much for joining me on this video. I appreciate it. Please do me a favor by supporting, and if you watch this video to the end, leave me a red emoji for me to know that you watched this video to the end. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow again on my next video. I love you. I got you. Don't forget. Bye.